Okay, finishing the 7.6 scatter plot practice. I'm jumping into this problem, and I can tell you it took me a little while to figure out how I wanted to do this. First of all, I noticed that my ranges for the x values ranged anywhere from the lowest at 5 up to 41. I had to, there were 17 across, so I had to count by 3. I'm getting a phone call in the background, but I'm ignoring it. The other thing I didn't do, I put, these are the hours. This over here is GPA. Let's see if I can do this. GPA. I am having a real hard time writing sideways on this. All right, this is my GPA. I think I should have just written it like this. GPA. All right, there's my grade point average. So it only goes up to 4, so I skipped every other one to make it, a half because the halves are easy. You wouldn't want to skip an odd number because doing a 3.5 is kind of weird. So you could have made these 4 apiece and maybe made it a little better like that. But here's my line, and you can tell if I were to estimate a line of best fit, it looks like it would go something along that way. Okay, that looks like where it would go. So, and we cannot have a 5.0 GPA. So, is that, believable? Maybe not. So, that's okay. All right, determine the correlation coefficient and use words to describe the direction and the strength. Okay, we're going to have this in the calculator to actually find it. So I have taken the liberty of going ahead and putting this in. So now I hit second data, 2 variable stats, enter, enter, enter. And I'm going to scoot down. I need the correlation coefficient, and I hit the wrong thing. Doggone it. Second data, 2 variable, enter, enter, enter. And I hit it one too many times. Second data, 2 variable stats, enter, enter, enter. There we go. Now we have it. Okay. So if I can stay on the right button, there's my A, B, and R. First of all, I have a negative 9.5, which is a really, really strong correlation. Might as well get this written down. A, boy, they're weird. I'm going to write it down. Negative 0.04. B, 4.26. And R, negative 0.95. I wrote it down with a pencil so that I can go back and have it. All right, so the correlation coefficient is negative 0.95. Guys, that is very strong. It's negative, or it's going down. The strength is strong in a negative way because it's almost -1. -1, +1, the 2 highest numbers we can have going away from 1. That is the biggest number we can be away from 1, or 0, excuse me. Use the table above to determine the line of best fit. Okay, so I've put this in and I found out that A is 0.04 and it's a negative. My correlation coefficient is negative. My slope has to be negative, so don't accidentally put the wrong thing. 4.26, it says, is the highest GPA I could have if this were going all the way to the line, which is a little more believable that maybe you had a couple of AP classes. And the equation then is y equals negative 0.04x plus 4.26. And we can tell we have a few that didn't quite hit this line right where we think it should. Let's see what other questions we have. Okay. Interpret the slope of the y-intercept in context. Okay, so slope in context. Slope is rise over run, and the rise has to do with the GPA. So we would say the GPA falls, because it's dropping, 0.04 for every hour of TV watched. In general, that's what's happening. So the more TV you watch, the lower your GPA. Using your equation, predict the GPA if the student watches 13 hours a week. So we're just going to take the equation y equals negative 0.04 times x plus 4.26. What goes in here? The 13 hours. It becomes our x. I totally stole this equation right here. All right, so now I'm going to put this in the calculator. So I go to my handy dandy calculator, clear all this out. Look at there, I did it without a problem. Negative 0.04 times 13 plus 4.26, enter. There we go, 3.74. Done. All right, next question. Below are shown 5 scatter plots which have different R values. Place the letters for each graph in ascending order from -1 to +1. All right, I'm just kind of laughing at myself. I knew all of that was going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to go to, oh, good grief, stop it. Okay, so which one looks like a slope of -1? First of all, this one's kind of like all over the place. This is bad. It's going to be a really low number. This looks like a positive slope. This looks like a negative slope. This one looks positive. That one looks negative. Okay, with that in mind, let's see what we have. Which one looks like almost perfect -1? Well, this one's negative. This one's negative. And this one, who knows? I have no idea. We really can't tell on that one. So which one's closer to -1? Would you say C or E? I hope that you are considering the fact how close these are to the line. And C is going to be -1. Negative 0.5 would be E because it's the only other one that's negative. 5, wow, these are more like this. I would almost say this is more like a 0.7, negative 0.7, but okay, we'll deal with it. 0 is definitely A. That could have been positive to negative 0.3. Anything in between negative 0.3, positive 0.3. Did not have to be 0. Positive 0.5, that would be closer to, well, B is positive. D is positive. I would say D is the one that looks like 1, so the only one left that this could be is B. Again, I would say this is probably closer to a 0.8, not a 0.5. Just saying. Okay, so let's look at this one. Write the equation of the line of best fit. So that means we're going to have to estimate. And I'm going to watch my time. I got about 6 minutes. So let's see what I can do for an estimated R value. In this, I would say my line of best fit, and this needs to be pre-drawn for you for all of us to have the same answer. This looks like it may be hitting at 2.2. So B equals 2.2, and we need to have, there's one, rise is 1/2 run, so M is 1/2, so I would say 1/2 x plus 2.2, and this is not horrible. This is probably around a 0.8. If you say anything from 0.6 through 0.85, I would say you're good to go. All right. That's what I would say your range should be in that area for the R value. Okay, this one, wow, I may be off a little bit here. Guessing that this is going to keep going and run into about 6.5. I'm going to say plus 6.5. Roughly, that's my B. Wow. I'm trying to look for anything that might hit the line. There's one hitting the line. This looks like it's down at, this isn't even down 3. It's almost 2. Let's say -2. Let's say the M is close. It's really hard to say here. -2. So, and where did I get it? Down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. It's kind of sort of close. And you can argue anything with me that's close to -2. All right, so the fact that it's negative is important. So that means my R has to be negative. This is a lot tighter. I'm going to say it's -0.9. And I would take anything from -0.8 all the way up to negative point, what, 95? I should have said -9.5 to -8, but I did them in backwards order. But I would say anything in between these two would be okay with me. All right,